Canelo Alvarez was walking into his press conference, and he was asked by Ellie Setback, Spencer Crawford, and Canelo. He said straight up, Crawford. Didn't even have to think about it. Why? He said Crawford's just a better fighter. And that's a similar tune that is going on around the boxing world. And me, truly deep down inside, I really feel like this is a 50-50 fight. And I really kind of edge Errol Spence because of the activity of Errol Spence. And I don't go into fights banking on knockouts. And I feel like Terrence Crawford very likely will need a knockout to win that fight. But it seems like every expert, every legend of the game who's been through everything, everybody is saying Crawford. Uh, Roy Jones, James Toney, Antonio Tarver, pretty much all these legends, man. Floyd Mayweather, like everybody who's been through the ropes, they say what they see in the ring, they see Crawford. And everybody who's picking Crawford, they pretty much picking that stoppage. And I know that that's a likely scenario for the Spence Crawford fight, but I think that if that was to happen, I think that it'll be like really late in the fight, around the championship rounds, and I believe that Crawford will be coming from behind on the scorecards. But the fight is so great, man, because it feels like Errol Spence plays into Terrence Crawford's hands, and I feel like Terrence Crawford he plays into Errol Spence's hands a little bit. You know what I'm saying? I feel like the fight is just up in the air, and if you look at the bookies, Terrence Crawford is favored slightly. Crawford a -125, Errol Spence a -105. But man, you ask anybody in boxing who's gonna win that fight, it just don't seem like a 50-50 fight, man. And I'm not sure. All these legends and boxing purists, man, I don't know if they might end up swaying my prediction because I don't see nobody picking Errol Spence. I don't know what the hell the problem is. I don't know if people don't like Errol Spence. I remember they was at the Hall of Fame thing, and Bud was getting a lot of praise and well deserved. And Bud was out there. He gave a speech to honor the legends. It seems like everybody loves Bud Crawford, and I do too. But it seems like people are counting out Errol Spence in the fight, and that's a terrible mistake. And Errol Spence, I hope he's doing everything he needs to do outside of that ring to go into that fight at 100%, you know, condition for that fight. Oh yeah, and Keith Thurman say that Spence is too slow for Crawford. You know what I'm saying? When I hear that, like I kind of think of like Bernard Hopkins and Roy Jones. Roy Jones, like he seen him, he was like, "Oh, I knew he couldn't beat me. He's too slow." Like type shit. Like, will it be one of those type of situations where Crawford can outbox Spence the whole fucking time, or because some of these fights at this level, the speed can make the difference, and I don't notice a bunch of speed difference between Crawford and Spence. Like I don't think Spence was slow. I think that Ugas was standing right there so much that Spence didn't have to throw a bunch of speed shots. He was able to sit there and load up and hit Ugas with what he wanted to hit him with. So I'm not sure who is the faster fighter. That's a tricky one. But I just had to put my output out there because it's amazing how everybody is picking Terrence Crawford. And I love Crawford's style. And I kind of feel like Roy Jones and all them is kind of picking up because they kind of see themselves in Terrence Crawford. Like they look at the two fighters and they feel like, oh, that's more of a skill set that I'd rather have. And me too. But I don't think Errol Spence is just a come forward, just pressure fighter. You know what I'm saying? Like one of those Mexican fighters who don't switch up nothing or nothing like that. But it's just interesting though. I heard these two parties still negotiating. Let's see if this gets done so all the talk can end. But I am shocked how much of the boxing world and the former legends are picking against Errol Spence.